Hi everyone, it's Monique Jeremiah and I'm back to continue our session on working with others for session 6. So in our last session we talked about differences in when we are recruiting employees or contractors and the kind of thoughts that we need to consider as a business when we are implementing a strategic HR plan. So continuing on with our thoughts, it's really important as a business to consider implementing action plans when we are fulfilling a business and its HR needs. So, for example, it's really important as a business to sit down and have a written agreement and a verbal agreement between our staff of what do we expect them to bring to the organisation during a project or during a part of the business time. So we sit down and we can think about, what is the expectations of the employee or the contractor? So what is their kind of work hours that they think they're going to be needed at the business? What is the time frame that they'll be engaged? What is the amount of pay that they will receive? What is their common daily activities in their job? That's their job responsibilities. Who do they report to? Where do they work from? Do they have flexible working arrangements? So can they work from home at certain times or do they have to be on site? Do they have assistance available to them if they are struggling in the business in any way or need some guidance? Who can they turn to? Do they have continued work available for them in the future? So can their contract be renewed short-term or long-term to give them the opportunity for continued employment? Also, how do they problem solve? What is the quality of their work that's expected of them when they're in a project? So these are kind of different elements that we need to consider as a business and what we need to discuss as HR managers when we're implementing a strategic HR plan. So how do we get involved in the conversation with employees about this? Well, there's two ways you can do it. You can do it in a formal meeting, or we can do it in informal. So informal is very casual, one-to-one, relaxed, no pressure. So our staff in this situation feel quite comfortable if you do it in an informal manner. In a formal manner, this is where it can be officially documented, signed off, dated, these sort of elements. So it creates, there's some good and negative parts of taking the step and how we're going to come to an agreement. But I guess having some kind of written agreement is very useful because at least both parties can retain that information and then they can clarify things if there's an issue in a project. Informal is good in that it can allow your staff to work more at their own pace. They don't feel as much pressure. But again, we need to have some kind of accountability for what is expected of an employee or a contractor. What is expected of the leader to deliver to ensure that the team member can work effectively together, working with others is what we're trying to achieve. Also, having what is our way of bringing our contractors together and our employees together to understand the responsibilities. So if it's a group, we could maybe do a meeting in a meeting room, or we could do a Zoom meeting if you're looking at people from different locations. You could use maybe Skype, you could use anything really, as long as you get people understanding what is their position in the business and in the project. What is the need for them? What is their expectations? What's their job responsibility? And what as a whole, as an organisation, are we trying to achieve? Okay, so it's really important to consider these elements and to always have consultation. Allow your staff members, your employees or your contractors to give their input if they can find ways to improve things, or even if they're an expert in an area, so they have a skill set that not everyone has. Maybe it's good to encourage them to share their ideas, to be willing to train others, to just give more value because people come with different skills and different backgrounds. So it's really a good element to utilize your people well and to identify those who have a unique skill set or can bring more to the table than what the others can. It's really good. So how do we deal with this situation is you could do a quick skills assessment. So you can get people to write down besides giving their resume, is write down, what is their key skills relating to the project. What is their technical skills? What's their soft skills? What's their past project experience? What softwares have they used? In today's society, software has become really, really important. So if you've got people who can use certain programs, it's useful to ensure that everybody can use it too by sharing knowledge. It's also good to, sit down with your employee or your contractor, ask them, how do they feel as a staff member before they start the project and then after. So getting them to evaluate, getting them to be honest with you, because you really want your team to work together. You want them to feel like they are valued. You want them to know that they can be comfortable working with others. It's really, really important to have that certain level of emotional intelligence to bring your staff together. So coming up with, an action plan, one-on-one of what does the business expect of you as a staff member, and what will we do to help you to achieve your goals. So that's vital, really, to ensure that you have an effective implementation of a strategic HR plan. So how can people work together, be recruited correctly, to deliver a wonderful project and a wonderful business as a team. So thank you, everyone. I hope that gives you a little bit more insight into implementing a strategic HR plan, and we'll have more for you in this area in the next video. Thank you again. Bye-bye.